Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. So yeah, just doing a little bit of a afternoon Sunday stream here. Got a little bit of downtime, so figured might as well get some work done here. So before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. It looks like I got another review just in the past couple days, so that's very nice. Thank you to whoever did that. But yeah, if you want to support my work, Gunforged is available for sale. It's a 2D roguelite shooter. And you can also purchase one of my Udemy courses. This is the Survivor style course. So this is a great option if you want to learn how to build complete games in the Godot engine, and also if you want to support me. So definitely check those things out. They're linked in the description below. And of course, I've got the new Udemy course in the works that's going to be coming out within the next couple of weeks. And what else? Is there something else going on? I don't know. I think that's good for advertisements. So So yeah, check all those things out in the description below. Anyway, what we're going to be working on today is a continuation of what I left off with yesterday. I think it was yesterday, which is that I'm modifying the internals of how the combat works so that I can more easily extend various features. So if you recall, if you were here in the stream yesterday, I was extending the turn history to get more granular data about, in particular, damage, so that I can enable certain things like a synergy between an item that damages yourself and an item that deals damage to the enemy based on how much damage you take. So yeah, the more granular data is necessary, the more complex I get with the conditionality around how various cards work. And so part of the work that I want to do, that I want to continue here, is that right now I've got this track ability execution in the turn history entry here. Or no, that's not right. This notify ability executed here. And right now, this is just in a very naive way determining this is responsible for playing effects over the board. So like the poison effect or the damage effect based on what effect type it is. However, this doesn't have any idea of knowing like if an effect type here comes in as damage. It has no way of knowing which board that damage was actually applied to. It just assumes that everything's going to be played against the target board. So that's the big thing that we need to resolve today. And we'll see how that goes. But anyway, hello, A the Ant. It's Sunday. How am I the only chatter so far? Yeah, I'm not going to expect too many viewers on this one because it's kind of like an off-time, off-schedule stream. Hello, Cursed. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you again. What about Uptime or Updog? Very clever, A the Ant. Very clever. Hello, Aaron. I was going to purchase your C# course, but the coupon code is not working, it seems. Could you generate another code? Thanks. I don't know what coupon code you're referring to, but you'll just have to wait for it to go back on sale. I don't have a coupon code that I hand out. The link in the description is a referral code. So if you purchase the course with my referral code, I get the vast majority of the proceeds from the sale. So it counts as me marketing the course if you use my referral code, and it counts as Udemy marketing the course if you just buy it through Udemy. And that's what determines the ultimate revenue split. By the way, I got myself a Mexican Coke, which is delicious. Hello, Edo Makes Games. Welcome back. Hello, Abith. Good to see you again. I like it more this time. It's evening. Oh, very nice. Hello, I'm going to just call you Two. I don't know how to pronounce your name exactly, but welcome. I'm glad that you're back. Hello, Lincoln Pepper. Good to see you again. And the floodgates have opened. Yes, indeed. Am I a 20-year-old to start game is too late? That reminds me of the meme, I'm 22 and my life is over. Have you seen that? I'm 22, my life is over. Yeah. Let me pull this up. Ah, it's gonna just go to a Reddit thing. Well, that's okay. This meme here. I'm 22, I've wasted my life, it's over. I always laugh when I see this. But anyway. No. I can't tell if that was a joke question or not, but it's kind of funny. No, it's not too late to start a game when you're 20 years old. Okay, I'll write it by it then. Yeah, you can also wait for a Udemy sale too. Udemy will regularly run sales, so if you want to wait, you can definitely do that. But thank you, Aaron. Hello, Camillo. Welcome back. It's never too late. You got it right? Okay, I'll just call you Two then. Very nice. Yeah. Never Too Late by 3 Days Grace is now playing in my head. Hello, Cheesem. Welcome back. Good to see you. All right, I had a roommate in college who was really into 3 Days Grace. I don't think I've ever listened to them. I'm about to start my 5-hour drive back home, so I'm glad I'm able to listen on the road back. Yeah, at least for a portion of it. Welcome, Brando. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so good to have you here. Question, I'm learning game dev using Godot. I fall to sleep way too easy trying to do tutorials. I work well just doing it. Do you have advice on how to work things out? An example, I'm trying to work out rigid body 2D and apply force, but it doesn't move. How would you recommend, without watching full tutorials, for it to work out? Well, I think, so yeah, I mean, if it doesn't move, then what I would suspect is some other kind of physics properties at play, maybe like some kind of friction or damping. But honestly, the first place that I would start is just like try to turn the impulse that you're using or the force that you're using like way up. Like multiply the number by 100 or something like that and see if you get any movement. And if you still don't get any movement, that would be a good indicator that there's something else that you're doing wrong. But you kind of want to like make a force that's big enough that it will overcome gravity or friction or anything else that could be affecting the body. So if you set it to like 10,000 or whatever the force number is, and it still doesn't move, then that's a good indicator that maybe the code that you're calling isn't actually working, or the code that you've written isn't actually being called. So yeah, I would just treat it like almost treat it like a science experiment. Like start tweaking variables, start tweaking numbers, and just observe the changes that take place. And actually, that's a really good piece of advice too. When you're debugging something, don't change more than one thing at a time. You do want to approach it kind of like a scientist, where you keep all of the other variables the same and change one thing and then observe the effect that that has on the system. Because if you change multiple things at the same time and then something on the screen changes, you may be unsure exactly which change caused the effect. And so it just adds a little bit more noise into the thing. So yeah, start by tweaking things that could affect the physics simulation. Tweak one thing at a time and just observe the changes. And that's the way I usually approach debugging, especially in more complex systems. Any idea how to add glow and compatibility? I don't know, I'm sorry. HDR threshold seems broken. Oh, is glow... I know that glow was not supported in the compatibility render for a while. I don't know if that's since been addressed in like 4.4 or if it's coming in a later version, but I do know that there was problems with glow and compatibility renderer. Can I revoke my code review submission? Yes. Just go ahead and send me an email. Send me an email with like a little description of the project that you sent in, or ideally the download link, and then I'll go into like my little Google spreadsheet and I'll just mark that row as don't cover it. I set it to 10K and it moved. That's a good way of working things out. Thanks. Oh yeah, I'm glad that helped. Guess I'll just have to use a shader for glow then. Yeah. All right, so let's go into here. Notify ability executed. So this is happening in the base card here. So what I want to do ideally is that I want this to become more of an agnostic thing where I just get the most recently executed ability from the turn history and then play the effect based on that. The problem though is that I don't have a way currently of relating abilities to which board they affected. And I don't know if that's going to be a smart thing to do either. This system. I mean, I think this system is actually designed fairly well, if I do say so myself. It's just that as the system grows and as stuff gets added to it, it gets a little bit more solidified in terms of its implementation as more gets added to it, and that makes it harder to change fundamental things about the system. And I think I need to make a fundamental change about the system here to get what I want. So this get all abilities here, this collects abilities recursively. Target collection. Okay. So that gets a flattened list of all the abilities in the card. And then after each ability is executed, it calls this notify ability executed. Play effect for ability, damage, poison. So I don't know. The cat is making a bunch of noise in the other room and it's very distracting. So I think what I'm going to do is ability increment execution count. So when this ability.execute gets called on the base card ability here, I think what I'm going to need to do is, oh shoot. You know what I might do? This ability.execute currently returns void. What I might do is I might return an execution context or an execution result object that contains details about how the ability was executed. And for now, that's just going to be a class with like one item in it. And that item is going to be the board that the ability was executed against. Is that a good approach? I'm gonna have to change basically everything about this though. So let me just kind of stub this out and see what this would look like. So if I do a public class execution result. Wow, I cannot type today. And then I do public board executed against board get set. Let me do this. Public static. Can I do this? Empty or execution result. Empty result. New execution result. Then I change this to execution result. Okay, and then what I get in here now for free basically is I can say var execution result is equal to that. And then I can use the data in there to do anything I need to do in here. Okay, I think that's gonna work. Because then I can track this ability execution and I could pass the execution result in there and pair card abilities executed entry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that data structure in a little bit, but what that is gonna do is it's gonna force me to update literally everything. Oh goodness. Oh wait, base composed ability. Yes, this base composed ability, actually, I can just do this. Return empty result. Base card ability dot empty result. Oh. I had it right the first time. Empty result, I just need to change this. Go away. Go away, cat. Go away. Do I have to go through all of these? No, I don't have to go through, I don't have to update any of the composed abilities because they don't have, when execute is called on them, they actually don't do anything. Ability tracker. Yeah, so we'll just do this. So this is going to be a little bit tedious, but is this a good idea? I don't know if this is a good idea or not. All things considered, this is not actually that bad. Oh. I mean, I think this is probably the best way to do it. Cats are cats, yep. What's my theme? I think it's Dracula. Yeah, it's Dracula. And welcome, Hugh Dev. Hello, Ali Wabi. Welcome back. Monkey Software, welcome back to you as well. How did you come up with the mechanics for this game you are working on? Very heavily inspired by other games in the genre, like, like, what's that? The Bizarre, Backpack Hero, or Backpack Battles, Backpack Hero. You know, other grid inventory management games, and then also auto battlers, just generally speaking. So yeah, that's basically it. Hello, Real Cruda. Welcome back. Oh my gosh. I'm having a difficult time typing today. Okay, getting there. Should I use Copilot? I think Copilot can be very useful. It definitely can be very useful, but, you know, it's kind of up to your personal preference, I think. Almost done. I think I have one more to do. Oh, right. This isn't even an ability. Okay. All right. So all things considered, that was not terrible. So now I've got this execution result. So track ability execution, abilities history entry. Abilities. This is going to need to be something else. So this probably needs to be card abilities executed entry. Oh, we're going to go subclasses into subclasses here. Let me think. Do I want to do this? Public class entry data. Base card ability. Ability. Get. Set. Public board executed against board. Change this to entry data. I don't know if I need this yet. Oh, let's actually do this. Okay. Dot entry data, entry data, entry data. Oops. Okay. Is that basically all I need to do here? I'm going to change this to ability entry data. Okay, so now in here, what I want to do is track ability execution. Let's do new card ability executed entry dot entry data. Executed against board equals execution result dot executed against board. Okay, so maybe that's going to work now. So now this notify ability executed. Go away, cat. I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to focus. So now I got to figure out what to do in here. Notify ability executed. I think this will work. Hold on a second. Give me just a second real quick. Okay, I'm back. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Not sure if my last message got filtered for linking, but there was a PR merged for additional BB code styling options, including underlines. Ooh, yeah. All links get purged in the chat, so I just never see them. As far as I'm aware, there's not a setting for that either. I think it's just a YouTube policy. I'm doing a final playtest for my jam game. Excellent. I'm having some insane issues today with coding. Me too, apparently. Lucky me, I know an instructor who teaches very well how to make volume slides. Oh, yeah. I wonder who it could be. Very nice, though. Yeah, making an options menu with volume sliders is actually relatively easy in Godot. Well, it depends. Like, it's easy if you set the game up right from the beginning. Hello, Adam. Welcome back. What do we have here? We got a Sunday afternoon game dev stream. That's what we got. So I think track ability execution. So in here, notify ability executed. Let's do this instead. Var latest ability entry is equal to execution context, turn context, current history, get most recently. Oh, wait. Yeah, current history. Get entry for board. This. Get most recent ability. Most recently, this should be get most recently executed ability. So this effect board now is just going to be instead We don't need this base card ability anymore because that comes in with this latest ability entry. So the effect board is going to be latest ability entry dot executed against board. Otherwise, we will fall back to the target board. Actually, maybe we should just do nothing. Let's do this. If effect board is not equal to null and execution context, turn context is auto-resolving, play effect for ability. We'll do latest ability entry dot ability. And I shouldn't need to change anything in here now. Is that going to work? Let's figure it out. So this doesn't need to be in here anymore. So we track the ability execution in here. When we do the get most recently executed ability, we're going to look at the card abilities executed, get the entry. I guess this could be null. Let's make that null chaining just in case. We'll see. Let's see how badly I broke everything. Oh, I forgot to do this. All right, let's see. What is going on here? Anyway, moment of truth. Do you recommend using an auto load with a pool of players for audio? It depends on what the audio is. For maybe like UI elements, I might do that. But for normal gameplay, no, I don't think so. I didn't do that in Gunforge, really. I did create like audio players for, yeah, like UI sound effects, because it would be like a little bit overkill to specify the same sound or same audio stream players on all of the buttons and sliders and whatnot. So I had like a singleton that could contain those very commonly repeated sound effects. But for like the hit sounds and the actual gameplay sounds, I didn't do that. Hello, iCode Stuff. Welcome back. Hello, Parallel Highway. Good to see you as well. Have you ever developed a resource management game? Would buy a tutorial. I have not, no. But welcome, RadTub. Welcome, welcome. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's still working. I think everything is still working. So the effects are still playing correctly. Let's go to another combat. Now the real reason I did all of this is because I want to see if this orbitoclast is going to damage myself. So this says inflict 4 damage on self. Let's see what happens. Oh, it worked! Look at that! So you can see that as when this ticks up, it will play the damage effect on this board, on the source board, because it inflicts 4 damage on self. So all of that work was in service of doing that. But now it's greatly simplified too, so this makes a whole lot of sense now. Basically, anything that needs to respond to what's happening in the game is now going to reference the turn history instead. And the turn history is just a long-running log of basically all of the relevant things that have happened during the combat. And one of the reasons this is also useful is because, for example, in the slime, this slime does damage that is based on the amount of damage that you have taken since the last time the slime executed. And so that requires a history, right? And so what happens when the slime executes is this damage taken provider goes into the turn history, gets all the relevant turn ranges, and then it gets all the relevant turn ranges and then does some extra filtering here to check all the damage done. And so that's why history is very useful. So I think I did it correctly. So now there's one other thing that I want to do, but I'm just gonna click through these and make sure that I did everything correctly. Mostly I'm making sure that all of this code that I replaced is logically equivalent. So this is target board, yep. Source board, target board. Source board. Okay, cool. So rework how abilities, executions are notified. Can't tell if you're happy or surprised everything is still working. Well, I'm very happy with it. Maybe a little bit surprised. But all in all, it was not that risky of a change. We just need to make sure that all the data is still there. Really what I wasn't sure about is like this working properly. But it seems to have worked properly, so I think that's good. That's cool, yeah. Yeah, it is. Gonna lurk trying to learn PS1 modeling in Blender. Nice. My team submitted its game to Wild Jam. I'm satisfied now. Awesome. Congratulations on finishing the Jam game. That's a big achievement. Anytime you finish a Jam game always feels good. Always feels good. Hello, Pocket Pixie. Welcome back. Cat, what are you doing? Shurima. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You want to sit with me now too? What are you doing? Do you regret hopping up here now? Okay, so the last thing I want to change is this increment execution count. What I don't want to do is store state data on the base card abilities, but that's happening here. So where is this actually being used? Execution count provider. So this is being used in the damage execution growth, which I think is only used in the Scarab right now. So I know for a fact that I want to get rid of this, so I'm just going to delete these. And then we will see what that all breaks. So this is already implicitly having its execution count incremented by this track ability execution here. So we can get rid of that now. We don't want a reset execution count anymore. And damage growth. So now we got to figure out how to rework this. So this execution count provider is an I ability value provider. We've got the target ability in here. I wonder if it would be as simple as doing this. So let me go back to the turn history. Get most recently executed ability. Get public int get ability execution count. That's not right. This is not a correct implementation. Card abilities executed. Can I just return card abilities executed dot count? Card abilities executed. This is card abilities executed data entry. Card stats. Where's track ability execution? Track ability execution. Entry. Hold on a second. Okay. This ability history's entry is being created every time execute abilities is called. Okay, so it's going to create one entry. Wait a minute. It's going to create one entry per every time the card executes. So what I need to do is I need to go through, I need to go through the whole turn history. So this is the not. I think that was actually correct. Get ability execution count. I think that's right. But I need to sum this up over the entirety of the turn history. So that's going to have to be up here. Turn context. Get turn history range, start index, exclusive turn index end. Turn context. Turn history. Public int get total ability execution count. I don't need the board here. Is this right? Do I need to pass in a card stats here as well? I think that's what I want. Get total ability execution count, supplying the card stats and the ability. We're gonna sum up all of the... Oh, I do need the board here. What? Am I doing this wrong? This needs to exist at the turn context level. Yeah. Public int get total ability execution count board card stats base card ability turn histories dot sum get card execution count. No. Get ability execution count. Goodness gracious. Okay, I think that makes sense. Do I need to add the current history into there? I don't think so. Okay. So this is going to go through the list of turn histories. It's going to get the specific entry for the specific board that we're targeting. And it's going to sum up all the ability executions for that. Goodness gracious. Is that going to work? I'm still not entirely sure that I did that correctly. Get value for source value. Oh, shoot. Execution count provider. I think I need to make this extend base card ability. We've got the target ability here. Private int execution count. Uh-huh. This is tricky, actually. Execution count. Count is equal to turn context dot get total ability execution count source board card stats target ability return empty result. This needs to return execution count. I think that's it. So this damage execution growth now, the only problem here is I can't. Can I do execution count provider dot get value here? Maybe? I have no clue if this is going to work. Don't quote me. Run manager. So I need to add the scarab into here somewhere. Wherever I'm adding all of my cards. Here we go. All right, let's see if it works. Fire Kitty, yes indeed. My kitchen ceiling collapsed. Oh, wow. And someone on YouTube gave me a laundry list for reason why the games look like it sucks. Thanks. Wow. Sorry to hear that pseudonym. Shouldn't you be fixing your ceiling? I'm a renter. Well, that's the good news at least. It's the landlord's responsibility. What VS Code icons and packet icons do you use? I think I'm just using the material icons for VS Code. And I don't know what packet icons refers to, but welcome CG Gaming. Pocket Pixie sounds like the name of a retro handheld. It does. As always, cannot backseat if I have no idea what's happening here. Yeah, we're just doing technical stuff. Use more globals. Why do I need to track the execution count? Because the Scarab here, its damage increases by 3 every time it executes. Oops, I shouldn't have closed that. So that's why I need to track the execution count, because there's abilities that rely on that. Let me go ahead and try this out. So that does 1. It still says 5 damage. That's not good. Is it going to do 8 damage though? It's only doing 2 damage. 2 damage? Okay, something's broken. Something is very broken. Let's go ahead and put a breakpoint here. Why would it only be doing 2 damage? There's something very weird happening here. Oh. I think I know why. Yeah. That provider needs to be added here. Abilities.add execution count provider. Okay. Still only doing 2 damage. Oh, there's 5. So it starts at 2, but then it goes to 5. Huh? How in the world does that make sense? Let's go ahead and debug and see what's going on. It seems to be working after the first one. Why is it doing 2 damage? That's so weird. Well, let's see. Execution count is 0. That's true. It does 2 damage initially. This should be 1 now. 1. And it goes up to 5. This should be 2. And if I do this, deal 11 damage. So that's correct. Let's see if it'll do 11 damage. I can't tell if it did 11 damage. 14 damage? 14 damage. Okay, so the tooltip is correct. Why is it starting with 2 damage, though? That's weird. That's really weird. It might be related to some of the scaling. 2... Then it does 5 damage. Then it does 8. Should do 11 next. 11 damage. 14 damage. Now the problem here is that it still says 17 damage. Because this execution... Okay, so there's a couple of problems here. The value in this execution count provider is still stored. So how do I actually... how do I actually do this? Well, that's a separate problem that I'll have to fix in a second. Let's figure out why the initial damage is not correct. Execution value scalar set offset value. Maybe that's it. Subtracting by -1. So if it goes up by 3, yeah, it's got an offset value of -1. I think this was fixing something that doesn't need to be fixed anymore. So we're going to get rid of that completely from the ability value provider. We'll get rid of it here. Okay, that should work. So now it should be logically sound. But the next problem is that we got to figure out how to reset that state now. Which is kind of like back to the same problem that I was dealing with. There's 5 damage though. Oh. 8 damage. So now it's lagging behind in terms of the... Why is it lagging behind now? You know what? I think that this needs to be added. Execution count provider. So this execution count is being updated before this actually gets executed, this damage execution growth. So all this stuff is abilities. So what happens is the execution count gets executed first. That updates the execution count. Then the dynamic damage ability gets executed. But then this damage execution growth gets executed. So the problem is that the execution count provider is not updated until immediately before it's about to be executed again. But I need this to be updated after its execution for the purposes of... for the purpose of the description here. Because the description needs to reflect the damage that's going to happen next and not the damage that just happened. But this is only updating to update the damage that is supposed to happen like immediately, if that makes sense. I think they're named product icons. They look nice. So in your auto battler, do you order your execution of abilities? Is it in real time or based on priorities in a single turn? Yeah, so everything is based on turns. And a turn is just a game, it's a unit of game time. It's not connected to any particular real time. And there is a turn order. So when cards... So when let's say you've got 5 different cards that all have their turn cooldowns done and they need to execute, what happens first is the player's cards always go first in order from top left, and then, so it starts at the top left and then it goes down column by column. So it goes down the first column and then down the second column and then down the third column. So the player always goes first. And those cards execute in a particular order, and all of the abilities also execute in a predefined order. And then all of the enemy cards go using the same algorithm, so top left corner down. So the player is given the advantage every time. Yep, that's exactly right, Adam. Yep. No, the Scarab does not retain its scaled attack value after battle. It does not. Another almost daytime stream. Yes, indeed. Welcome back, Rin. Good to see you. Hello, ARW. Sorry I'm new. What is the streamer working on? I'm building a collectible card game grid inventory management auto battler with a necromancy and alchemy and medieval science theme that borrows inspiration from things like The Bazaar and Backpack Heroes, but is a single-player roguelite take on that genre, rather than asynchronous multiplayer. That sounds fun. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to be very fun. If I can just figure out these darn ability executions. So I'm in quite a conundrum here. What I could do is I could track the execution count of like the damage ability first. So instead of tracking the damage execution growth here, I could just track this damage ability instead, or even better. No, I'll just track the damage ability, and then I will execute this execution count provider after the damage gets executed. So it's going to start at 0, which is fine, and then after the damage gets executed as part of this dynamic ability magnitude. Dynamic magnitude ability. Then it will update the execution count. I think that's going to work. I don't need to track this ability specifically. I just need to track one thing that's happening in there. Deal 5 damage, so let's see if this works. 5, this should now say 8. Nope, it doesn't. Son of a biscuit. Why isn't that working? I wonder if it's returning the dynamic magnitude ability first. Is this an iComposable ability? It's an iComposite ability. Get abilities to execute. Am I using this? Why is this not working? I was convinced that would work. Let's put a breakpoint here and see what's happening. Okay, so this is the Scarab. Let's see what all abilities we got here. So yeah, so you'll see the damage ability in here. So this is how the abilities array looks like. So we've got the damage execution growth. Oh, that's executed first. Well, wait a minute, that should work then. So we've got damage execution growth first, then the dynamic oh my gosh, then the dynamic magnitude ability, then the damage, then the execution count provider. All these 4 quote-unquote abilities are being executed inside of this loop here. And they're all just going to be executed in order. And after each is executed, it gets its ability. Oh, shoot. I know what's happening. This turn history entry. This is the current turn history, which is not yet in the historical turn history. Oh, so that's why it's happening. So the order in here doesn't actually matter. What's essentially happening is this execution count provider only looks at what's been entered into the history, but the current history is pulled out of that. The current history is stored separately. The current history only gets added to the list of turn histories after the turn is completely over and all of the data has been logged, then it gets added. So the problem is that I'm expecting this execution count provider to update immediately after this damage ability executes. But the problem is that it's not accounting for the current history. The current history value. So that's why it's missing that update. And it updates correctly on the next go around, but I need to show again the damage that's happening on the next turn for the description, right? So many buzzwords, yes. Yes, indeed. To be fair, buzzwords are really effective at communicating complicated or larger ideas to people without having to spell it all out. I think that's true. I think Adam is just teasing me a little bit. But yeah, I think the buzzwords are effective. For sure. Hello, Raul. Old school C# dev here, learning game dev as a hobby over the last 5 years. I always learn something from your videos and streams. Happy to catch you live today. Thank you, Raul. Appreciate that. And welcome to the stream. Great to have you here. Game submitted. Now I can catch up on the stream. Awesome. Congratulations, Emerson. I would never. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true. Can't go wrong with the Mexican Coke. Can't go wrong. I've been lurking, but I'm here. Welcome, Chris. Welcome back, I should say. So how are we gonna... Well, okay, so if the only issue really is... So the logic is working flawlessly. The problem is the description is not working. What I could do is I could... This execution count is gonna be 0 on the first iteration. What should I do? Should I just do like a var description offset? Is this gonna work? Am I thinking about this wrong? If I do execution count provider dot get value -1. Oh, let's do mathf dot max. And we'll do description offset. Is this gonna work? Oh no, this has to be... This has to be +1, right? Hold on a second. If it's 0, the description is going to be correct. But the description is going to be wrong until it updates the next time. Yeah, shoot. I don't think there's a way to make this work. I basically want this execution count provider to work off of the current history as well. I'll just make this work with the current history. Let's do action, turn history, predicate is equal to this. What? That doesn't work. Oh, this needs to be a func. Oh. Let's do this. Oh, wait. I'm being dumb. Func, turn history, int. Equals predicate, current history. Oh, you can just use a local function. Okay, that works. Anyway, a little bit of cleanup so I'm not repeating myself. Okay, so we'll just make this total ability execution count work with the current data as well. So it's going to go to the historical data and it's going to look at the current turn as well. So it's going to have the most up-to-date information, which makes sense. I think that I was kind of like overthinking it. I think that makes sense. This should just all start working now, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see. I think I'm still debugging in here. Stop that. Hello, Ryan Shaw. Finally made it on time. Welcome. Yeah, we got quite a bit more of the stream to go here, so welcome, welcome. Glad you could be here to hang out for a bit. Let's see if this works. So this is deal 5 damage. This is gonna do, oops. Or, why did it do 8 damage? Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. So now I'm back to that original problem I had, which is I was using an offset value, which makes sense, I guess. Although I'm not going to use the offset value. I'm going to do execution count provider of... We're instead going to track the damage ability instead, and that should just fix it, I think. Dog 1, villager 1. Let's go. Come on, deal 5 damage first. Boom, 5 damage, then we're going to do 8. And it hasn't updated. Oh my gosh, this is like playing whack-a-mole. What is going on here? Okay, I guess I do need this offset value that I deleted. I'm just playing whack-a-mole here. Okay. Hopefully this works now. Just an order of operations issue, really. So this should do a 5, and then it should say 8 now. Yep, it says 8 now. So it should deal 8 damage now. Boom, 8 damage. Deal 11 damage. Am I going to survive? Boom. Okay. Now the thing is, though, that this execution count provider is storing this execution count value, which is not ideal because now it needs to be reset. So the whole point of doing this really was to avoid storing an execution count value on the ability itself. So now I'm reading that from the history, but the problem is that's still storing an internal execution count member, which needs to be reset at the end of combat. Do I have like an I? I think I already have something to deal with this. I transient turn state. Let's see. I transient execution state. Where is this used? What does this do? Apply. Oh, this can be reworked too. Really? I'm so confused. Oh, goodness. Is this broken too? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. There might be a problem with this ability tracker. I might update this ability tracker actually as well to pull from the history now that I'm tracking abilities that are executed. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, this is a mess. Wait a minute. Is this broken? I might have some more broken code on my hands. The phylactery might be broken. Okay, before we go into that, let's just commit what I have. Get ability execution count from history. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I need to do still. So I need to reset that state on the Scarab for the damage execution growth. But I also want to take a look at this ability tracker, which is sus to me. Might be causing an issue. So actually, before I forget about it, let's add a phylactery in here. Var phylactery is equal to this, that, boom. We'll test this in just a second. It did do 8, yeah. 2 HP, yeah. Oh, goodness. All right, so yeah, give me just a couple minutes. I'm gonna go get a refill on my drink and all that stuff. And then when I come back, we will do some investigation in here. I think I might have some broken code. But even if it's not broken code, I think I want to start migrating everything over to using the turn history. I think that's going to be a really powerful way of building abilities, because I kind of get with the turn history, since it only tracks what happens during an individual combat, I get this sort of transient state for free, right? So if I have cards that increase their damage based on what happens, like you take damage or you deal poison damage or whatever, all that gets nicely contained in that turn history object, and then a new turn history object is created when you go into a new combat. So all of that state is managed very nicely, and then if I can turn the abilities into just raw pieces of functionality that get past all the context they need, and then they can query the turn history to do the calculations they need to do, that's going to be a very nice way of splitting the sort of transient data from the logical execution elements. But I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think I still have some weird state stuff going on, particularly with this ability tracker. So I'm gonna see what's going on here. I wrote this code a while ago, so I need to do a deep dive again into it. So it should be interesting, but yeah. Will I make a new card at the end of the stream? Probably not, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If I can get these issues resolved fairly quickly, then I'm certainly open to it. But I could also go for longer today. We'll see. But yeah, give me 2 or 3 minutes. I'll be right back and we will continue on. Okay, I'm back. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's take a gander. The first thing I want to do is test this phylactery and see if it is indeed resetting. And if it is resetting, I have to figure out why that's happening. So for context, the phylactery applies 0 poison. Poison applied grows by 1 every time an allied card applies poison. Oh, that's a bug. Did you see that? What in the heck? What in the heck is going on here? Okay, anyway, I'll fix that later, I suppose. But yeah, if I put the ceremonial dagger here, this will make the phylactery go up. So you see it applies 1 poison there. applies 2 poison. It applied the 2 poison. It's applying 3 poison now. So we're gonna see if that carries over into the next combat as well. Let's just auto-resolve this. So that did get reset. Why is that resetting? Why is that resetting? Oh, there's a reset here. Okay. If ability is ability tracker, I ability tracker. Reset all ability execution counts. Let's do reset all ability states. Okay, so maybe I don't need to, let me think. I still think I want to change this ability tracker. On ability executed, where is this being called? Okay, I guess that makes sense. Get all abilities. Huh? For each VAR listener in card on board base card, get all abilities of type I ability execution listener. Target ordered cards. I see. Okay, so first things first, let's get this scarab state resolved. So I'm actually going to change how this works. So I've got some transient state things. I transient turn state, I transient execution state. This I transient execution state, where is reset transient state called? Reset execution states, that is called where? Post cooldown tick, okay. I don't like that at all. This reset execution states. That's currently only used in the shield on fire applied. Why is that? I think this was my way around the fact that I didn't have a way of tracking fire applied through the history. So I want to get rid of that too. Okay. So the first thing that I want to do is let's fix the scarab. I'm going to just... I'm just going to create a new I transient state in here. This is going to get really confusing, but I'm going to fix it. So we're going to create an interface for I transient state. We're just going to have a reset state there. In my base card here, we've got reset execution states, reset turn states, reset all ability states here. If ability is I transient state, we're going to call ability. Oh, I transient state, we'll call transient state dot reset state. So let's go to the ability tracker now. We're going to implement that I transient state here. This is going to change from reset to reset state. So that's basically a one-to-one replacement there. And so now that I have a resettable state here, I can go to my scarab, damage execution growth here. I can make this an I transient, or no, let's do this. Execution count provider. We're going to make this an I transient state. Public void reset state. Execution count equals 0. Okay, let's just make sure those two things work. And then we'll take a look at the ability tracker, which is kind of weird. Failed to build project? What do you mean failed to build project? What are you talking about? iTransient execution state. Oh. I might have to fix this before I can test anything. Well, let's just comment that out for now. I want to just get the scarab done first, make sure that that's handled. So again, the scarab should have its description reset basically after we do a combat encounter. So we'll go to the shop and we'll go through here. Oof, indeed. Do you do your own art? Very pretty game. Yes, I do, Schlurgy. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Yep, all the art you see on screen here was drawn by me by hand. Is it not supposed to reset? No, it is supposed to, yeah. It is supposed to reset for sure. Okay, so that's going. What bug? Hardly know it. Hello, Matt. New here. Software dev looking in. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Software dev looking to get into game dev, specifically with Godot. Any advice, particularly moving from software to game dev? Yeah, I think the advice that I would give you is that I would be prepared to think when you're working on games, the method of thinking is a lot different than typical software dev. Because like software dev is very like stateful, right? Like things don't change unless, you know, like some data in the system changes. But with games, like especially if you're doing like action games or whatnot, like there's stuff updating every frame. And so it's a little bit of a different way of thinking about how to make maintainable software, because you've got stuff that's changing like every single frame in a typical game. And so you're gonna have to kind of like adjust how you approach making games around that fact. And then also, yeah, if you're not familiar with more mathematical concepts like linear algebra, I would brush up on that because that's going to be a big thing as well. But beyond those two things, it's really quite similar. So I think you'll have a relatively easy time. It's just once you introduce the spatial element to it, so you introduce the spatial element, whether you're doing 2D or 3D, and you introduce the fact that the game is updating every frame, that kind of requires that you think a little bit differently about how you write the code. But beyond that, it's very easy to pick up. Ordered a controller, but it was going to take 2 weeks to get here, so I canceled the order. I ordered another controller. It was $10 more, but it'll get here in 2 days. Now you know. Well, that's good. That's good. Didn't I rename reset to reset state? That's why the compiler was complaining. I did. I guess I could do that. I was thinking that maybe I shouldn't call. Maybe I shouldn't call that here, but I guess I can. Yeah, that's a good catch. So that got reset, so that's fine. Okay. So yeah, we can definitely just commit these changes then. Let me just make sure everything's good to go. Okay. Introduce iTransient state. Okay. We're gradually making this system a little bit better. Let's take a look at the ability tracker now. Now, is there a reason why on ability executed, if tracked ability type, right, so this is checking for abilities of type. Why is this here? I don't know why this is here. So the question is, do I want to use the history in here now? Or do I want to just leave it be? I think I do want to use the history so everything's nice and unified. So instead of storing this tracked execution count here, on ability executed. So I'm going to need to keep this for sure, I think. This is called in the base card. I ability execution listener is opponent listener. Yeah, I think I do want to do this. So instead of doing a tracked execution count in here, well, I am going to need that tracked execution count. Where's this being read? Oh, it's a publicly accessible, but it's never used. Okay. Or it's never read outside the class. So I'll make it private. Update listeners. What is the update listeners? Ability update listener. Oh, I see. It's updating the target magnitude. Wow, this is a whole thing. I mean, maybe I shouldn't read the history here. I was thinking that would simplify things, but it's really not going to. It's only going to replace this here. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I should just leave it. On ability executed. Let's invert this. Actually don't know if using the history is going to improve this that much, honestly. At worst case, this is just like a duplicated tracking of state here. Hello, Phi Harbor, or Pi Harbor. Have you ever tried making a multiplayer game before? The game seems a bit like some of the backpack battle things. Yeah, this game is inspired by a backpack battle to some extent, but it's not a multiplayer game. I'm actually working on a course right now, a Udemy course, that covers online cooperative multiplayer in Godot. So I guess you could count that as a multiplayer game. iTransient turn state, iTransient execution state. What is this? Yeah, I think this is the one that I'm looking for. Well, let me think. Yeah, this is tracking. Oh, shoot. I'm just trying to wrap my head around what these ability trackers are doing. Is opponent listener. I guess the thing that I'm struggling with is this. This ability tracker is not really fundamentally different from... It's not fundamentally different from the execution count provider here. And so that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. It looks like it seems like I have basically two duplicate pieces of functionality that are doing essentially excuse me. They're doing essentially the same thing. Cool. Yes, indeed. I think the course is going to be good. Hello, Astra. Does anyone here know of a good Godot 4X video that does a good job showing the node structure for handling the game, main menu, pause menu, UI overlays, and such? All the UI and dev videos I've found have been too focused on one thing and not a good structure. I'm just starting. Or does the Udemy course cover this as well? Well, what I would say is that my Udemy courses will teach you how to build a complete game from scratch in the Godot engine. So if you're interested in like going from, you know, getting the initial foundation of the game in place to doing all the refactoring necessary to ultimately ending up in a place where the game can be built and shared, then I would definitely recommend my courses for that, because I do show you, to the best of my ability, the best practices and how to clean up your scene structure. In the Vampire Survivors course, we make heavy use of node composition to make pieces of modular functionality easier to reuse. We also go into a lot of UI development in that course as well. So yeah, if you're looking for something comprehensive, I would recommend that. Obviously, I'm biased, but otherwise, I'm not aware of a specific video that shows you what you're after. So maybe somebody else can chime in with that. So I'm just trying to figure out what I would need from an ability tracker change here. This update listener is what's kind of throwing me off, but I don't think that's fundamentally different from an execution count provider. I guess the only difference is that this execution count provider the execute has to be called. Hold on a second. Base card. I am doing things a little bit differently in a couple of different places here. Shoot, what am I going to do about this? I actually don't know if it's worth spending the time on this, but... What I could do is I could make this instead an I ability execution listener. On ability executed. If executed ability is not equal to target ability, return. Otherwise, execution count plus plus. So I know that kind of moves me away from this get total ability execution count, but this might actually be better. Is this gonna work? I don't know. Execution count provider. This no longer needs to be executed because this execution count provider gets passed into a value scaler here. And that damage value scaler gets passed on the dynamic magnitude ability. So is that gonna work the same for the scarab? If so, that might be okay as well. I do think that there's some simplification I could do to the ability tracker. I think I might get rid of the execution count provider and just do a raw ability tracker. Just make that the all-in-one solution. Because those two classes they're too similar right now. I think that's my main issue. I would like them to use the turn history for their stuff, but... Oh yeah, and I still have this offset value, which I don't think the offset value is necessary anymore, so that fixes that weirdness. Okay, so maybe this is the way to go. We're gonna get rid of that offset value. Get rid of the offset value. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could keep it, but I don't think I'm using it anywhere else, so let's just get rid of it. I'll re-add it if I ever need it again. Highly recommended courses are great. Thank you, Emerson. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think my courses will show that for sure, Astra. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested. Been working on my own bullet hell roguelike game, and art has been my biggest struggle. First game I've tried developing, and I take back any bad things I've said about indie games I've played. Yeah, it's very, very difficult for sure. Very difficult. I'm trying to figure out a good structure. I could make it happen by ham-fisting everything in some illogical way. Gotcha. There's 5 damage. Oh, and the description didn't update. Well, imagine that. Oh, it looks like the ability update listener is even working. Did I break this again? Now, why isn't this working? Son of a gun. Huh. Okay, let's just do a debug in here. I keep breaking things. I don't want to break things anymore. Oh, it's not even working. That's weird. Oh, it still needs to be added to the ability list. Right, that's why. So I still need to do it in here. Okay, that should fix it. There's 8 damage. There we go. It should deal 8 damage now. 8. Oh, 11? What? Oh, shoot. Did I break it again? Whatever. We'll just do that. Am I finally gonna get it? Let's see. Five. The shield should deal 8 next. 8. There we go. Deal 11 damage now. Nice. Okay. Oh, goodness. So this execution count provider, what I'm skeptical of though is this, let me stage these. What I'm skeptical of is this ability tracker here. Notify listeners. I don't think that that should be necessary. I don't think that should be necessary. Let's see where the ability tracker is used. Why is that necessary? I don't think that's necessary. So I think I can... Hold on a second. Oh, shoot. Why is this necessary? Register update listener, dynamic poison ability. Dynamic magnitude ability. Update target magnitude. Value provider get value. I see. So this needs to have its target magnitude updated for some reason. Right, so when the poison tracker value changes, I see. So this magnitude doesn't get updated until it's told to be updated, and the reason why it needs to be told to be updated is so that the description can be updated. But why do I need to do that? I don't think I need to do that. If I'm doing that only for description purposes, then what I can do is I can just make this yeah. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this I update ability listener. This goes away. So this poison tracker, I'm going to get rid of these update listeners. That's too much. Get rid of that. Notify listeners, get rid of that. Reset state. If that's the only reason why that's happening, Is there a better way to do this? Let's see. I was thinking maybe I'll just force an update inside of get description, because I think that's the only reason why I was doing that. So I should just be able to do dynamic poison ability dot update target. What? This needs to be public. Value scaler is a value provider. Get value. Yeah, I think I can just call update target magnitude in here. Wherever that's necessary. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I guess the only thing is that's possibly going to update the internal state. I think that's fine. Ideally, this dynamic magnitude ability would update its magnitude as soon as the value provider value changes. I wonder if I should. I don't typically like to use mix C# events and GD script, but I wonder if that would be an appropriate place to do it. So ideally, what would happen is if the value provider, the underlying value changes, it would update the dynamic magnitude ability. But all this stuff has to be like manually triggered at certain points, but I think, I don't know, it's probably okay. Dynamic fire ability to update target magnitude. I can just force it to be updated whenever I need the updated value. And that's only going to happen in the class, so I think that's... I could also just do... Wait a minute, why don't I just call update target magnitude in here? Why does it need to be... So this is setting the underlying... Oh, wait. Maybe I don't need to do this. Update target magnitude. Oops. I'm going to get rid of this. Put this here. Get rid of that. Yeah, all this is doing is setting the underlying abilities magnitude to the value provider. So the value provider is always... If I call get magnitude on a dynamic magnitude ability, it's always going to return the magnitude that's ultimately going to be used. So I don't even need to do this, because when I call get magnitude, it's just going to the value provider. It's not referencing this. The only thing that's important about this is that this magnitude ability, which is this underlying ability here, just has its magnitude set before it gets applied. I think that's it. Yeah, okay. All right. Do you got that, chat? You guys all understand what's going on here? So I don't know why that update target magnitude was even necessary to begin with. Unless I'm missing something. Am I missing something? Update target magnitude. I don't think so. Maybe there's a case where... Yeah, no, it's not. I don't think that's necessary. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary at all. Where else is this ability tracker used? Yeah, I don't think any of this is necessary. Ability update listener. This is no longer used anywhere. Delete that. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. I should delete it through Godot. Ability update listener. Okay. Anyway. Let me just see. The scarab is really bugging you. Well, yeah, the scarab is like it's one of those things that's like revealing a lot of imperfections in the code. So where's this opponent heal fire growth used? Unholy water. Well, actually, poison applied growth is used in the phylactery, I think. What? Yeah, phylactery. I guess let's just see if the phylactery still works. The best way to structure your game is so that you can understand it. You're the only one who will look at it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a bug. It's causing other bugs. Yes. Wow, that is a three-way pun. Very nice. Very nice. Do you prefer C# or GD script? I prefer C#. Welcome, haha, Jax. Yeah, personal preference. Really, that's it. Break fast, learn faster. Yes. We do not, but I'm happy you're happy. Yeah. You don't understand the system. Yeah, it's really hard to like explain what's going on. Oops. Oh, I won anyway. Get wrecked. What I want to do is put this here. See that? That is still working, so I don't know why I had that whole ability. Should be 6 poison. Let me see again. Just to make sure this is working correctly. I think I way overcomplicated that ability tracker. So I'm glad I'm decomplicating it. Let's see. 1 poison. 2 poison. 3 poison. 4 poison. 5 poison. Yeah, it's all still working. So anything that's using the ability tracker in a similar way should be fine as well. Okay. So let me just do this. So yeah, those update listeners were not necessary at all. So I don't know why I was doing that, but that's okay. So we're getting some good cleanup in place. That's good. So I cleaned up a ton of stuff there. What is this? Oh, this has to be... I think this set magnitude comes from... Ability tracker. This set magnitude comes from one of the interfaces, I think. Oops. What am I doing? Yeah, eye ability magnitude. So those things need to be there. I don't know why this line is here. Oh, I know why the line is there. Yeah. Because things like the phylactery could execute but have no magnitude, so yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Additional filter. I don't know what the additional filter is. So now the thing is that I don't like about this is that this is tracking execution count. And so is the execution context, or the execution count provider. The only difference really between these two things is that this is tracking abilities of type, so this is using a type, whereas this is tracking a specific ability's execution. And that's a big enough difference where I don't think I should merge the two in terms of their functionality. I don't think I should merge the two. Maybe it's fine. I feel better having gotten rid of this array of listeners, though. I think that's good. Okay, well, this didn't quite move in the direction that I wanted it to move. I wanted to move away from this kind of like listener way of doing things, this iAbility execution listener. I wanted to move away from that and go more toward just relying on the history, but I mean, I still kind of want to do that. I really don't like doing this, but the problem is I can't get around the fact that I need some way of like notifying when an ability has been executed for the rest of the cards, because I still need to know when to read the turn history. But the problem that I'm facing right now is that in the case of like the execution count provider, it's kind of like I either should get the total ability executions on when execute is called here, which actually this doesn't need to be, this still, never mind. So I could either just calculate from the history the count here, or I could just respond immediately to when the ability that I'm tracking gets executed and then just increment the count. So this is a more immediate update, whereas this I have to wait for the next turn until this gets executed. Now I could do a mix of both, where I used this to trigger an execution to update the count, but then it's like I'm already getting the count in here. Like I might as well just track it here. And anyway, and then the same is true of like the ability tracker here. It's like I could figure out a way to use the turn history, but I'm getting the count right here. Like this is going to be called every single time the executed ability gets added to the turn history. So it's like I might as well just track it here instead of going through the whole rigmarole of reading the turn history to track it. So, it's not ideal. Like I wanted the turn history to be like the core, like source of truth here, but it's kind of like, that's an idealistic vision, whereas in practice, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I'm glad that I made the changes that I made to the turn history, because there's a lot more granular information in there, and I'm sure that's going to come in use later on. But I guess as the game gets built out, I have to like do these audits a little bit routinely, because I don't want to keep building up libraries of like duplicate or overlapping functionality and just have a bunch of like, 3 different classes that all do basically the same thing and just like make a mess of the code base, Ideally, all of these things like the ability tracker, the execution count provider, they should be very specific chunks of functionality. And yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter, whatever. Okay, what am I doing? Various ability improvements. Okay, so I think Dragon Apple wanted to see a new card get made. So why don't we do that? I've still got some time this afternoon. So I'm going to take another quick break. And when I come back, we're going to take a gander at my Kanban board here, and we'll pick out a card to work on, as well as an ability to go with it. So up to now, I've been picking abilities that require some stretching of the code base in terms of adding more functionality. So maybe we'll do something similar. And if you are watching right now and you have any ideas for either cards or abilities that would be interesting for cards, drop them in the chat and I'll read them when I get back. Firebelly, your code review videos have probably helped me the most over the past couple weeks beyond the basics. Just wanted to say thank you for those. Well, thank you, Astra. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh yeah, we do have the Phoenix. Yeah, the Phoenix would definitely be interesting one, because what I would do is add a mechanic where it can only execute like a couple of times before it dies, and then have it resurrect, quote unquote, after the combat's over. So that could be an interesting one, Phoenix, but let me know if there are any other ideas in the chat. I'll be right back and we'll continue work on this. Okay, I'm back. Looks like we don't have any other card ideas, so let's try to do the Phoenix. Why not? Let's do it. So we'll try to do the Phoenix, and I did this, so I'm gonna mark these as done. So do the Phoenix, and then we'll have like goodness, I don't even know how I'm gonna structure this. Execute abilities X times before going dormant. We'll see. Add a Firebelly card? I might. Gonna get back to you later. Awesome. Is that an Obsidian? Yes, this is Obsidian with the Obsidian Kanban Community plugin. All right, let's do an open file here. Let's do assets. We're gonna make this one a big boy. Let's do background. Let's make this 2x2. Okay, let's save this as in here. New folder, Phoenix. Oh, I am spelling that right. Am I? Phoenix. Of course, Phoenix, Arizona is the first thing that comes up. I'm spelling it correctly. Okay, that's good. I'm curious if that's a plugin. Yes. Yes, it is. Got that answered for you. All right, so let's do this. Load default palette. Let's see what we can do with this Phoenix here. So this is going to look probably very bad to begin with, so bear with me for a second. Excuse me. I'm just going to get the general shape in place. Probably going to want some feathers. This is going to be a really difficult one. I can feel it. Yeah, okay. So I've already just completely messed this up. So let's do this. Let's do that. It's not majestic enough. Okay. That looks maybe a little bit better. I don't know what I'm doing down here. Let's take this. Okay, that's looking all right. In terms of the Phoenix body, okay. So I'm just getting the general shape in place first, and then we'll sort of figure out where to go there from there. Like, the Phoenix kind of looks like a pheasant. You know what I mean? A Phoenix that you would see, you know, the typical Phoenix that you'd see at your local park typically looks like a pheasant kind of thing. I don't know if this shape is necessarily going to work, but let's just figure it out. We're going to gradually get it refined over the course of a couple iterations here. You know, this was not intended to be the background wing, but that actually looks much more like a background wing, actually. So just try to bring this in, I guess. Move this out more. Oh. I do think it needs a thinner neck. The wing is not super good, but again, we'll figure that out. Now, in terms of the little feet, let's do something like, I don't know, let's make it like a little chicken leg, I suppose. That's not quite right. That doesn't look quite right. So typically these phoenixes are depicted with long tails. Let's see. I mean, it's kind of there. This is a good kind of match what I'm doing. Phoenix has a long tail. So maybe I need to make the tail, I don't know. Can I do that? I don't have enough room. But maybe if I do that. Give the legs more of like an action pose, I guess. I think the legs need to be longer too. Let's see. I'm just going to copy this. That doesn't look terrible, actually. I think the head maybe is a little bit weird. Let's see if we can fix this up a little bit. I do think there needs to be some kind of like little plume here, you know what I mean? Although the problem is that that's not going to look that great. It's got a little hat. We'll figure out that in a little bit. It does not look super good when it's filled in. What does the face look like again? It's more angled. I'm trying to do mine with the mouth open though, so maybe that's one of the reasons why it's looking weird. It is so awkward drawing beaks at an angle. I think this probably just needs to be closer. It looks like a lizard. You think the egg will be tricky? I mean, the code structure doesn't seem to be right. Just asking out of curiosity. Let's do the phoenix. I don't know. I might not do an egg. I might just change it to like a pile of ash or something. It's a 2x2, yeah. I've been binging your content while learning Godot myself. Well done, and I'm looking forward to more. Well, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. You know when you're out on a bike ride and a phoenix flies by? Yeah. Hello, Neozoid. Dropped in to say hello with curiousness. Let's see. I didn't even look at your name. Oh. Focus more on the wings or some sort of fire. Hello, big boy. Boig boy. Have you tried any fantasy console? I don't know what that means. Fantasy console? I'm not sure. If you want to elaborate. I mean the cursed egg. Oh, the cursed egg idea, yeah. I don't think so. I think it'll be fine. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Well, we will figure that out in a second. This is my usual art process. I usually just fumble around for a little bit until I get something worthwhile. And by golly, that's what we're going to do this time. Oops. What happens if I just rotate this? It does not want to be rotated. Okay, we'll worry about that later. Getting low on things to worry about later, I suppose. Oops. Need some feathers on the head. That's what I need. Give him like a mullet. Unfortunate thing now is I can't see the eyes if I do that. Or I don't have room for an eye. Unless I make it a different color. I'm so bad at drawing wings too, holy moly. These wings are terrible. I can never get them to look like really elegant. They always look like the thing just crawled out of fresh, like, roadkill or something. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Maybe if these are just longer. The problem inevitably ends up being that there's too much space in between each of the feathers, and then I feel like I need to fill in that space, and then it makes the feathers look weirder. Wings are very hard. Although I suppose that looks a little bit better. This actually needs to be just much thicker. I might not even have room to really denote the wings in there. Actually, this needs to be more facing the other way, right? It's terrible. Oh, goodness. Maybe I shouldn't even do a second wing. I don't think there's room. Okay, that looks like a freaking turkey that's eaten way too much. All right, let's try again. We're starting over. What in the heck do wings look like? Why is this so difficult? Okay, so there's like a little curve. Let's see. Okay. Maybe I should do the same curve on this side. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to try a little bit of a different approach here. Oops. I'm going to do a new layer. Oh, I did. Oh, let's do a new layer.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Okay, maybe we got something going on here. Let me try something else. That looks terrible as well. That's all right. We're not going to give up on the Phoenix. Let's do this. Move this up. Then I should be able to have room to do this tail section. Nope. Oh my gosh, this is difficult. This is so hard. Oops. Maybe. I want to draw some feet here. Maybe not that way. Maybe. Okay, that doesn't look terrible, I suppose. I'm guessing I come in near the end of the stream. Yeah, we're getting there. Fat fire turkey, haven't decided yet. Yep. Fiery chicken, turkey day. Flame chick, yep. Hello, the friendly foe. Is this a phoenix? Yes, it is. It's trying to be anyway. I don't know how well it's going. I think maybe... Where's the body layer? This one? If I just... bring in the body and let this kind of... Oops. Which layer did I put this on? Oh, I put this on this layer. Okay. Huh? Are you kidding me? Okay. Okay. All right. The tail is good. Okay, the tail is good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Oops. Okay, that wing might be good. I think this needs to come... Well, let's see. I think this body, if I just put this back here... Okay, there we go. So let's take this. This wing over here needs to be up. Up more. Okay, all right. It's going off the screen. I should name these layers. Oops. Wrong button. I really do think this still needs to be up even higher. Or maybe the body needs to be lower? Oh, maybe the body needs to be lower. Hold on. Let's move that back down. Let's take the body.
Every core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Actually, you know what I'll do? This wing here. Wing back. Oops. Wing back. Behind the body. There we go. Again, this body. I'll have to mess with the body there in a sec. I liked the way... Let's see. Honestly, that's probably okay, actually. Right there is probably good. So let's just get in some of the styling, and then we'll take a gander at that and see how that's working. This, I think, tail, this I think needs to be behind, so we'll just get rid of that. This is kind of awkward now. I think this needs to go up. This doesn't look like an attack pose. Oops. Well, whatever. We'll figure that out in a second. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? These feet are messing me up, so I'm going to get rid of those. We're going to take this tail here and just fill that in. Get rid of the body part here. Okay, we'll do the feet in a second. Okay. So we've got our tail. This is a little bit too angled. Maybe I'll just thicken it up. I think that's okay. That's going to be obscured by the feet eventually anyway, so that's okay. Okay. I think it's getting there. I guess that, so at least it reads as one. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Hello, Maximilian. I'm building a tower defense MMO with a tower rogue-like expansion with Spacetime DB. Ooh, Spacetime DB, how is that? Are you enjoying that? And want to use Godot for the client? Any advice or tutorials on how to develop a grid-based tower defense game? I don't have a good advice for that, actually. You do a ham for Thanksgiving? Yeah, usually there's like a spread of different meats when I do Thanksgiving with my family. Now I'm hungry. Maybe just use simple shapes for now. Yeah, I'm trying to get it. I think, does this look, I mean, this looks more stylistically, I think, like a phoenix. So I think I'm on the right track here. But I just gotta make sure. I think I'm on the right track for sure. I just need, yeah, just to be very careful, that's all. Wings are so hard. This doesn't look good at all as wings. But yeah, it's so hard to pull off wings. I don't know why. Why is it so difficult? Anyway, I think the general vibe is there. Just got to figure out now how to do this. Wonder if I could just cheat and just make wings look like this. I don't know, man. I could use red in here, I suppose. Let's see. Actually, that doesn't look bad. Actually, that doesn't look bad. I think it reads as wings, which is good. Yeah, the thing about pixel art is a lot of it is just about like giving the impression, and I think one of the problems that I have at least is I get too caught up in thinking about the details too much and less about the impression, right? It's like pixel art, from what I've learned and what I'm still apparently struggling to apply, is that it's just about the impression that you're giving the viewer. It's not about getting the details right. So, yeah, I think that's just the big thing, I suppose. It's not about getting the details right, it's about giving the right impression. And as long as the wings are giving the impression of being wings, then I am succeeding. And if the wings are not giving the impression of being wings, then I'm not succeeding. Okay, so I think that's a good rule of thumb. So let's do this now. Let's get the body in place. Okay. Might actually go darker here too. Really create that contrast between that. Makes it look like the beak is sort of... Yeah, I think that'll work. Now I'm gonna need... I want to make this look like angry. How do I do that? I think I can just do that. It doesn't look angry. There we go. I don't think that's in the right spot though. So let's move this over. Yeah. Is that too dark? Oh, I don't really have a choice. Okay. I realize that I'm still missing the feet, but... Okay. I think this body part actually needs to be bigger? Is that right? Yeah. Definitely needs to be bigger. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, all of this out here is no longer necessary. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now for this back wing, I wonder if I should do something like this. I don't know. And I've been ignoring chat for a second. Hold on. I'm locked in. I'm not convinced of the back wing. The back wing looks a little bit bad, but that's all right. Anyway. At least I picked a nice, easy one to do. Yeah, true. That wing looks awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think this wing looks awesome. I'm not so sure about the back wing there. I wonder, I might just get rid of this stuff and maybe to emphasize the fact that it's a background element, maybe I'll go a little bit harsh with the purple here. I think there's too much of a difference now between this wing here. And this one, whoops, wing back. Maybe what's awkward about this one is it's just not oriented correctly. Yeah, there's something off about this one. I think the colors are off. I think... maybe if I make this a little bit thinner. You can worry about the details, right, if you want to impress other artists, not players. Yeah. It's looking awesome. Thank you. Wow, that looks amazing. Thank you. What's the use of this card? This card will probably do like 2 really big fire applications and then be done. So it's going to be like a 1 and done or 2 and done kind of deal. Given the scale of the card, you don't need to overkill the details. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is I'll add some lines in here to give the impression of feathers. Maybe some thicker. I'll add some lines in here to give the impression of feathers, and then... what's the word I'm looking for? And we'll pull the old quit while I'm ahead, you know what I'm saying? This looks awkward out there. Yeah, that pixel looks weird. Actually, you know what I'll do? This probably will look better like that. Okay. We'll call that wing good for now. I do wonder if I should add a little bit of like dark purple elements in here. No, that doesn't look... That just looks a little bit out of place. Yeah, I'll just keep those out then. Although these ones along here are probably okay. Okay. Anyway. All right, let's do the tail now. It attacks 3 times, then turns to ash for the rest of the match. 3 times attacks for a lot and applies burn. Yeah, I think that'll be how it works. Love how it became a mix of our ideas, yeah. Sends out a heal too. Oh yeah, I could have it heal for sure. That's gonna be... The implementation is gonna be difficult too. Man. Why is this not... Okay. Let's get the tail in place now. This is going to be even more difficult, I think, but let's see. I'm just trying to get this a little bit more compact. The problem is there's not much shape here. That's kind of the problem that I'm running into. I'm just trying to move chunks around and see if that inspires anything. Nope. Well, I don't need to overthink it necessarily. I think that's probably okay. Maybe what I need to do is just make this... I think that'll work. We'll try it. Now, is it going to look okay if I put a couple of these in here? I think that's fine. And what I might do is also just emphasize this a little bit. That's okay, I suppose. Okay. I'm stealing this card to make my icon this chat. He's gonna copy strike you. Yeah. Okay. So I want to get this art done at least before I hop off. So the last thing to do is the feet. Oh, you know what? This is, I'm gonna save this. Phoenix. I want to save the A sprite file for this because this is actually a relatively complex piece of art. So if I want to edit it, I want to preserve the layers. So we got the feet. So let's do the feet now. I'm just going to paint these. So we're going to want one there. Am I going to be able to do... Oh, this is not very visible, is it? Let's do it in white then. Don't think I like that pose. Almost there. I know it's hard to see, but... Okay, let's see what that does. It still doesn't look quite right. I mean, that's probably okay. We're just going to duplicate this. Maybe shorten it up a little bit. Or I could move it in a different spot. Ooh, that looks good. Yep. Oh, that looks even better. All right, let's do the feet now. So I'll do this. Actually, I'll use, wait. Yes, this color. Probably use the red, just the background foot. I actually don't know if that's going to be a great color for that. That looks okay. And then the front foot, let's rename this foot front. Foot back. This one I want to make a lot lighter. So we'll take that, we'll add some shading there. Okay, but then in terms of the talons, we'll do something like that. I'm not in love with this, but foot front, maybe I can make some changes here. I wonder if I got rid of this. Oh, that really makes it look like a turkey leg. I think the leg is maybe just not positioned well. Does it need to be under the wing? Oh, that's awkward. No, it doesn't need to be under the wing. You should never ever say you're not an artist, just look at that, man. Thank you. Yeah, I think it turned out okay. The feet, I like the background. I like the back foot a lot. I think the front foot is throwing me off a little bit. I don't know exactly why. And for the body here, we could add just a shadow there. And then here, I don't know, the front foot is a little, but I mean, I think it's a phoenix. I think you can tell that it's a phoenix. I could sit here all day and like make little tweaks, but I think it's probably okay. Not sure you need feet. Maybe I don't. Well, I kind of do actually. I think, otherwise it just looks like a caterpillar or something. Let's see, foot front, if I take this. Give it more of an action pose. Maybe that's what I need. More of an action pose and get rid of the... Does that look okay? The shading is all wrong now, but... I think that looks better, actually. Maybe with some minor tweaks to how this is positioned. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. Are you going to do a sprite for the ashes too? Yeah, I probably will. Cthulhu is insanely cool too, thank you. Have we tried green claws? I have not. I don't think that's going to look great. No, I'm going to do white claws. I think the white claws are better. You should improve your art. Now the feet looks weird. Yeah, I don't know. I think this action pose looks better than what it was before. But I think it was better before. What about this? I flipped it horizontally. So now it looks kind of like an eagle with its talons going out. You know how like eagles will hold their talons out when they're about to grab something? Does that look better? How's that with it flipped? How would you set a variable in script that's a child of any number of rigid body 2Ds? I'm not sure I understand the question. Set a variable in a script that's a child of any number of rigid body 2Ds. I mean, the variable is going to be unique to the script instance. It's going to be unique to the script instance. So if you're just attaching the script to multiple rigid bodies, if you're attaching the script to multiple rigid bodies, that variable is going to have its own value in each script. Does that make sense? I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks better. Thank you. That's the spot MO. Yeah, I think that's better. With the, yeah, because now it looks like it's going like it's got like a lunging forward pose, which I think is great. Looks good like that. Maybe remove 1 pixel of the outline on the left side so the wing and leg blend more. Oh, here? Or are you saying here as well? Oh, that's actually a good, yeah, let's see. I'll probably put that on the body. Oh wait, maybe the wings? Shoot. Wings, body. Why am I not allowed to erase that? Oh. I think that looks better. Yeah, good suggestion. I think that looks better. Looks way better now, thank you. That's awesome, thank you, thank you. The script itself is a component of the rigid body 2Ds used for gravity. I'm wondering if there's a better way to access and modify a variable inside of that component script. Yeah, I guess I can't really provide a good answer without knowing what you're using it for. Also, I'm a little bit mentally tired, so maybe I'm just not understanding the question. So are you trying to set the variable across all of the rigid bodies at the same time? Is that what you're trying to do? So you're trying to, so if the script is attached to multiple rigid bodies, you want the value to be synchronized when you change it in one place to all the others. Is that what you're asking? I'm a big fan of less outline like that. Looks really cool. Yeah, I think that looks good. I think that looks good. That definitely looks like a phoenix when you're zoomed out. So perfect. Okay, let me just do a little fun thing here. Convert to, or no, new group. Let's play a fun game called This is what it initially looked like. And this is what we ended up with. Initial. Result. Initial result. I think it's much better. Much, much, much better. And thank you for all the suggestions, everyone that left suggestions in the chat. Pretty much yes, but the script is attached to a child of the rigid body 2Ds. I think what I would do in that case is maybe use a group. So assign a group to all the nodes that have the script that you want to change. And then just iterate over all of those nodes in that group. Or if you're just going to use a common value, you can elevate it to like a third singleton kind of node, and then read that value from all the scripts. So that's the way to do it. So yeah, either get all the scripts or all the nodes with the scripts attached that you want through a node group or something, and then iterate over all of them and set the value to be the same thing, or have them all read a third node, a value from the third node that is like a known location in the tree that you can just send one update to, and that is reflected across all of them. Huge improvement. Thank you, Chris. Chris F. Cool. All right, let's commit that before I lose all my progress. Add Phoenix art. So unfortunately, we were not able to get into the actual gameplay programming of that, but that's okay. Hello, Trash Bandicoot. Would you generally favor passing signals between components, scenes, or using some sort of global signal bus? For example, dealing damage or detecting other NPC enemy behavior. Yeah, I mean, in Gunforged, I used a global signal bus for things like enemy died or enemy took damage, because there's just so many things in the game that need to know of that. And trying to very precisely connect all the signals to all the places they need to be through the complex scene tree becomes really cumbersome, and you end up just writing functions over and over and over again to like pass signals along. And so at some point, yeah, I just elevate it to a global singleton where it just forwards like global signals. And the way that I did it in Gunforged is so if an enemy died, what I would do is I would pass along a single argument, but it was a context object. And that context object contained all kinds of stuff about the enemy death. So what enemy died, a reference to the scene tree, just anything relevant, like what were the gun stats, or what was the bullet that killed the enemy, so on and so forth. And all that gets passed along in a context object, and then that makes it so that with that context information, I can handle that in a bunch of different ways throughout the game. But yeah. Nothing to see here. Oh, look at that. Adam took the Phoenix, image as the profile. Very nice. I'm honored, Adam. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Hi, Jackson, you're welcome. Okay, so we got a 3.5 hour stream in. That was quite a stream, but got a lot done. I had a lot of fun. Makes a lot of sense. I've been trying to feel out the right way to view these problems, so I appreciate the response. Yeah, for sure. I should have done the before one. Oh no. But yeah, that's it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate that. And thank you for chatting with me and helping me through the art. Always, always appreciated. Again, check out the links in the description below for all the ways you can support my work. And I will be back at it tomorrow. I won't be streaming at the usual time, 10 a.m. tomorrow, because I have a meeting in the morning, but I'll probably be streaming in the afternoon, so keep an eye out for that. All right, thanks again, everyone. I appreciate it. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.